Madam Chair, you're live.
Thank you. Welcome to the October meeting of the Annapolis Education Commission. My name is Laura Booth. I am the chair of the commission this year. We are going to let me flash up our menu. We have some special guests with us this evening, so let me flash up our agenda for the evening, and we will quickly go through the boring paperwork portion of the evening so we can get to the fun stuff. 1 second to get where did my agenda go? Was here. Right. All right, let me.
Good evening, everybody.
Oh, hello, Corey. Great. I'm glad you could join us. Let me just share my screen here with the agenda. Maybe. There we go. Here is our agenda for this evening. We're going to start with our roll call, and we do have a new commissioner joining us this evening. So Samantha, we're going to give you a chance to introduce yourselves. And I think we're going to go around and have everybody introduce ourselves too, so that you can get to know us. And then we will have our, we'll jump into our presentations for this evening. Does anyone have any objection to going through the agenda as presented? I have a motion for the agenda. Y'all are quiet.
Motion moved to approve.
Thank you, Ms. Watts. All right, and then second?
Second.
Thank you, Fish. All right, so our motion, any objections to continuing with the motion? Then our motion to approve the agenda carries. All right, let's start with our roll call because I do want to have everyone give everyone a chance to go around and introduce themselves. Our Ward 1 representative is Fish, so let me stop this for a second and I will let Fish go first to introduce himself. Oops.
Hey folks, Fish Stark, live downtown, former educator and social emotional learning curriculum developer, and now advocate for strong public schools. And excited to be here, and thanks for being here, Samantha.
All right. Ward 3 is Enid, and she is not online yet. And then Ward 4 is Tara.
Hey all, my name is Tara Wells. I am a current educator. This is my 19th year of teaching. And I just, love education. So that's why I'm here.
Awesome, thank you. We have Ward 5 is India.
Word 5. Hi.
You're coming through pretty garbled there, India. Can you move your microphone maybe? Technical difficulties. All right, we'll cycle back around to India. Corey, Ward 6.
Hi, my name is Corey. I'm Ward 6. I have one child in the Annapolis Even High School and a proud parent of a 2025 graduate of Annapolis High School. And your secretary, bad at it, of this commission.
You are doing a fine job and we appreciate you doing it. Ward 8 is Jess, and she is not able to join us this evening. She has a conflict. Sorry, I skipped myself. Ward 7, Laura Booth. I am your chair. I am the parent of a class of 21 graduate from Annapolis High School and the parent of a current sophomore at Annapolis High School in the APEX program. All right, and then we have our at-large members. Let's go through the previously seated members. Pam.
Hi, I'm Pam Bukowski. I'm a retired speech language pathologist. My 6 children attended the Annapolis High Cluster. and I have been part of the commission since it was a committee 20 years ago. And welcome, Samantha.
Thank you.
We have, Odessa is online.
Yes, good evening. My name is Odessa Ellis, parent of three adult children who graduated from Annapolis High School. And I guess I've been around since as long as Pam been around, Pam.
We thank you both for your long service to both to the school and to the commission.
Uh-huh.
All right, Grace is not online this evening and Sheila is not present. And that brings us to our newest at-large member, Sam, or Samantha Watts. I don't know if you introduce yourself, tell us how you'd like to be addressed, and welcome aboard.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Samantha Watts. I do prefer Samantha. I live in Annapolis, even though I'm in the at-large position, so that's for all the wards. I did not go to Annapolis schools, but my parents and grandparents and cousins did. I am a former school teacher. Now I'm in the training and development field. So I train our organization's new employees and things like that. And I'm excited to sort of serve the community and get back to my education roots in this way.
Wonderful. Well, welcome aboard. We are very glad to have you.
Thank you.
And I hope this will be rewarding for you, and it will be rewarding for us to have you join us. So thank you. We also have some special guests with us this evening. So I'm going to go ahead and let Mr. Marino and Ms. McNeil introduce themselves briefly, and then we will jump into, I think we have one more. I don't think, let me just check. Madeline, we don't have anyone on board for public testimony, do we?
No one's in the attendee list right now.
Okay, and I did not get any communications this month. So so let's just jump right ahead and we will go right to our presentation this evening. This is sort of our Annapolis High night. We have some folks here who are going to tell us about all the amazing things going on in that building, of which there are many. So I guess I have Mr. Marino first and then Ms. McNeil, but is that the order that you two would like to go on? Okay, all right. Well then, we're going to go ahead and let Mr. Marino introduce himself.
What's up? What's up? Hey, good evening. My name is Jaron Marino. I'm proud and honored to serve as the community school program manager at Annapolis High School. I was born and raised in Charleston, West Virginia. So just to give you a little bit of framework of my background, I was the first in my family to graduate high school. My brother quit school and got his GED, and my mom quit school. My single mom quit school.
Capital or George Washington, Jaron?
Ooh, South Charleston High. Look at you.
I
Look
used
at you with the Charleston
I used to live
knowledge.
in Charleston. Yeah, I used to run an after-school program in Boone County Public Schools.
Boone County. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, we
Sherman
got some
High, man.
chatting to do. We got some chatting to do.
Yeah, we do, man.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
sorry to interrupt you.
No, I love it. See, that's building connection right there. I went to West Virginia Tech, so West Virginia University Institute of Technology. I played basketball there and received my bachelor's degree. And then I started my coaching journey. So my college basketball career led me into the coaching profession, which is wearing many hats. It's recruiting high school student athletes, it's mentoring, it's being an academic advisor, so everybody stays eligible and remains on track to graduate college and whatever major they choose, etc. So I spent 1 year at my alma mater, West Virginia Tech. I went to Lewisburg College for 1 year. That's in North Carolina. That's a junior college, a 2-year school. Then went to Radford University in Virginia. I was there for 6 years. And that's where I met my wife, and we had our first daughter. And then I had the opportunity in 2023 to come to the United States Naval Academy and serve as an assistant coach with the men's basketball team there. And that's what I've done the last 2 years. And in May, we had our second daughter. So I have a 3-year-old. So sorry to be long-winded, just give you a little bit of framework and background. In May, we had our second daughter. So I have a 3-year-old and a 5-month-old. And I was ready to settle down. We love the Annapolis area. We love the Annapolis community. And I was ready to really serve more into my purpose and in my upbringing in helping students that are in their transformative years of high school achieve their goals, whatever that might be. And that's what kind of brought me to Annapolis High School. And that'll kind of flow me right into my presentation.
All right. bring that up.
And I'll be brief, but I'll try to be brief. Let me say that. So this is the first year that Annapolis High School has been named a community school. You may be familiar with other community schools in the Annapolis cluster: Annapolis Middle School, Eastport Elementary, Georgetown East, Tyler Heights, Mills Parole, Annapolis Elementary, and Germantown. Those are all the community schools that feed into Annapolis High School. Um, there's a formal definition of a community school, which is a part of the blueprint for Maryland's Future for Education. But I like to talk about community school and in a way that's a little bit more digestible, and talk about it as a strategy for organizing the resources of the school and the community around what students and families and our community members say that we might need to support our families and our students towards success. And that's kind of my role, is to lead that strategy and work with all stakeholders, you all on this call, our staff at Annapolis High School, our families, and our students, to best organize those resources to what the actual authentic needs are. And please, that's my cell phone number. That's my work cell phone number. So if you ever want to reach out to me via text or call, please feel free, and I'll share that in other ways. And then that's my email. My office is at Annapolis High School. So if you don't mind going to the next slide, and I'll kind of talk about a couple more things. The purpose of a community school is we really want to have outcomes to promote student achievement, not just in the classroom. We understand that there's numerous barriers outside of the classroom that might track with students into the classroom. So my focus, and I work heavily with so many people in the building, especially like our student services team, to help remove those barriers as much as possible. So when students arrive to Annapolis High School and go into the classroom, they have all their needs met outside of the classroom, so they're able to focus on the curriculum and the instruction that they're receiving. So promote student achievement, positive learning conditions, and the well-being of all students. On the left are the 14 wraparound services that community schools really works to implement and support. And then in the middle here are numerous examples of supports, resources, and events that we can implement at Annapolis High School. But with that, we need student feedback, community feedback, and family feedback. So that QR code right there, from now until the end of the month, I'm really pushing the Anne Arundel County Public Schools Family Feedback for Student Success Survey. And that is going to help us tailor our supports towards what families actually need. So that's my spiel. I probably took up more time than I needed, but any questions? I mean, I'm an open book. If you all have any questions or anything, I would love to answer.
Folks, show of hands. Anybody has questions for Mr. Marino?
So I'm always looking to learn about like different events that are going on in the community that might be beneficial to bring into our schools as far as resources, or to make available and to share with our students and families that might be beneficial. So I look forward to collaborating and supporting our Annapolis community.
Odessa, I see you have your hand up.
Oh, okay. Good evening, Mr. Marino. Welcome. I used to work at Annapolis High School as a permanent substitute teacher. And years ago, there was an organization called Community in Schools. But I think it's different from the one that you are a member of or teaching at. Are you familiar with the other national organization called Community in Schools? CIS?
Not so much, to be honest with you, but I'm open to learning.
Okay. Well, are you part of that organization? It's a national organization called Community in Schools.
No, this is a state. This is a state program, I believe. The community schools.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Well,
I'll say, Odessa,
Go
from
ahead.
my knowledge of communities in schools and how that nonprofit works, it does very similar work to what Jaren's describing now. So it's a very similar model. This is just done through the
Right,
state.
right. Okay, I went to a conference years ago with communities in school. It's been taking Anne Arundel County a long time to get used to this program, but it's much needed. So thank you for being a member of that. Uh,
I see Samantha has her hand up.
Hi, thank you for presenting. For the survey, is it for students as well, or are you just looking for guardians to be filling this out?
Primarily guardians,
Okay.
because man, the questions on there are so impactful. It talks about, it asks about the student. So the specific questions are tailored towards um, students and families and what their needs are. So, for example, it asks about like some demographic questions, or do you have ages 0 to 5 in your house? What is your work status? Are you interested in workforce development? Or if you are if you come from like a Spanish speaking home, are you interested, and you're an adult, are you interested in working on your English skills? So, for example, next semester in January, I'm partnering with Annapolis Middle School to offer um, a free English class for our Spanish speaking families. Um, so,
That's great. Thank you.
yeah, no problem,
Mhm.
no problem.
And I just had one other question.
Yeah.
So these examples in the middle, these are sort of what could come about from the feedback survey, not necessarily what's already being implemented right now.
So, correct.
Okay.
Correct. The one cool thing about Annapolis High School is there are already so many programs, and the school has been operating and providing resources as a community school does prior to this year being officially named a community school by the state of Maryland. So what I've been working to do is collaborate with what's already being done and taking place, and trying to enhance that and make it more accessible as much as we possibly can,
Thank you.
while obtaining feedback to better guide resources to
Yeah.
what students and families say they need.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
Fish.
Jaren, thanks for what you're doing. And I've been hearing a lot about how impactful this program has been for Annapolis High and the families there. Real quickly, number one, beyond awareness of community events and resources, are there other things that members of this commission or community partners can offer or can share with you that are helpful? And what are the things you're hearing from students and families, the things that are coming up most often in terms of unmet needs, or things where you'd really want to see the most support materialize in the community?
Oh man, two really, really good questions. Two really good questions. How you can help support me. It's it sounds like there's so much experience with Annapolis schools and some of the and the Annapolis community, and some of the deeply rooted um, systemic history that I might be unaware of. So I'm always what I'm trying to do, like right now through the blueprint, we have a grant and we have some resources and we're able to do some things. But I'd love to partner with different organizations in our community to build sustainable, like, money comes and goes. Who knows how long we're going to have this fund coming from the state of Maryland. But if I can get your assistance in understanding the community and where um, resources may potentially lie to build sustainable systems to support our students and families, and not just band-aid issues. If we can try to get at the root issue, the root cause of things. And the really cool thing about this program is that not only are we focusing on student success, but we're trying to focus on family success as well and position them. So if you all have any type of recommendations of things that we could potentially do, or ways that we could collaborate, I'm all for it. And then so feedback, man. Oh man. From
And
top to bottom.
specifically, like the biggest needs that kids and families are articulating to you.
All right, number one, transportation.
Yep.
Um, getting to school. Right, we are trying to celebrate students arriving to school, even if they're late, if they come midday, whenever they come, because they've put effort into attending the school. So if they miss their bus, it's a really difficult to try and get to the school. For after school opportunities, I know who missed Miss Corey, you have a child in evening high school. So with credit recovery opportunities, after school clubs, after school sports, right now there's no transportation that gets students back home. So whether you want to take credit recovery after school, we don't have any after school clubs. That's another thing.
That's true. That's true. And that's another reason why she's looking forward to going back to school, because this is her junior year, and the plans with New Village Academy had fell through, because that's what she really wanted to do, New Village Academy, but because those plans fell through, she decided that, okay, I'm going to do my junior year with the evening high school, but my senior year I have to go back to high school because she wants to have that high school experience.
Right.
However, because of some issues, some students, anxiety and just, the way of the world right now is hard for them to just tap in to, okay, we got to go to school, we got to do this, we got to do that. It's like a mental thing. And so my daughter, when she found out that New Village Academy wasn't going to work anymore, she's just like, okay, I'm gonna go to school for my senior year because I want to be able to experience senior things. And that's that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. So transportation is a really big one. Family engagement, that's another really big one, trying to get more families involved in their students' education. In a positive way, not just we're having you come to the school because of disciplinarian issues, or we're giving you a call because of something negative per se, grade wise. So that's another large bucket that we're trying to correct, as you will.
So are you saying that there aren't any buses for after school activities?
No, ma'am.
Nope.
So Laura, when did that stop?
We have not had buses for after school activities since my son started at Annapolis High. He graduated in 21. I know when Sue Chittum was principal, she said she had money, but there just weren't any buses available because the high school ended first, and then any of those late buses there weren't any buses free because they were doing the middle school and then the elementary school run. Now that the school start time has changed and we have elementary school going first and then high school and then middle school, I feel like there should be buses available to make another run after the middle school program is done. We do have activity buses at Bates and Annapolis Middle. I think I'll have to double check for this year, but I know in the past twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, they had buses, but Annapolis High still doesn't have any. When I last asked Dr. Tobin about it, I was told it was because of money, but I definitely think it's something that we should be advocating for. But on that same topic, at our last PTA meeting, something came up that I wanted to make sure I shared with Mr. Marino, and that was that a lot of our sports teams don't start like right when school gets out because the coaches are either teachers who need to wrap up their day, or they're coming from the community and they have a day job that doesn't wrap up. So sometimes practice doesn't even start until 5 o'clock. And one of the issues at Annapolis High is that we insist that students leave the building the second that the school day ends because there's no one to, quote unquote, supervise them. Our media center closes. There's no one in there. And what happens is kids who are our athletes are told, well, they have to leave the building. So there's no safe place provided for them to sit and do homework, in between. So they end up either going across the street and, running to Dash In or Subway or someplace like that. And we also have heard that there are families that won't let their kids participate in sports for that reason. They don't want their kid basically running around Riva Road for an hour and a half before sports practices start. So that is another area that the PTSA was concerned about, and wondering if we can create, some sort of safe space in the school, like in the media center, where an athlete can go get a little extra help if they need it, or at least have access to the school Wi-Fi, so they can sit with their Chromebook and complete assignments before they go out to their practice at whatever time it starts. So, something else to add to your list?
No, that's terrific. I had a meeting with our school librarian who oversees the media center yesterday morning, to bring us to her plate and get her thoughts. So as of right now, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I believe, our Apex program,
Yes.
they have access, I believe, after school to the media center for a certain duration of time. I'm not sure
Yeah.
what that is.
It's great, but I never understood why it was only limited to Apex. I mean, I know Apex students have to keep their grades up in order to remain in the program, but presumably that's true for our IB students as well. And really, I mean, we should be encouraging all of our students to keep their grades up.
I agree. I agree. So I emailed Mr. Bell, who oversees Apex. Bell? Mr.
Oh,
Bell.
yes.
I emailed Mr. Bell yesterday, hoping to set up a meeting to communicate with him on how long that is open on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because I believe the payment for the librarian to keep it open is coming out of his resources.
Mm.
I want to communicate if, community schools is willing to do it on Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday, then, from Monday through Thursday, we could potentially open it up to whatever the capacity of our school's library is after school to meet that need or that barrier
That would be awesome.
for our students to go. So in progress.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
That's what I like to hear.
Hey, we gotta make things happen.
I love it. If you could just for a moment, explain how the multi-year process, it's not like it's a switch that just gets turned on, like now we're a community school and everything starts. Could you just maybe explain for a little bit for folks who don't understand how we sort of get on board with this program?
Yes. So the community school model was a part of the blueprint, and it started back in 2019, 2020. And the first two schools were elementary schools in that year. Ever since, more schools have been added. So as of right now, we have 47 community schools as of the 25-26 year in Anne Arundel County Public Schools. 4 of those 47 are high schools. So Annapolis High School, Glen Burnie, North County, and Meade. How do you become a community school? Like what, and that is whenever your free and reduced meal percentage for your school is above 55% for your school, that makes you quote unquote eligible to be named a community school by the state of Maryland. So Annapolis High School's free and reduced meal population is above 55%, and that's what helped us, I guess, quote unquote, become a community school. So with being a community school, there's 2 prerequisites. One is that they have a full-time community school program manager to lead the strategy within the school, and 2, that you have a full-time school nurse. So not all elementary schools, middle schools might not have a full-time nurse. So all community schools receive a grant from the state of Maryland, and that grant is used for one, to support the community school program manager's salary, either fully support or partially support the hours of a full-time nurse, and then whatever leftover funds from that grant are used for programming and to provide wraparound services, as you see on the left here.
And then the first year is really like our information gathering year?
Yes. So we have a small budget this year for wraparound services. Um, and year one is primarily to gather data and feedback. So right now is year one is composing your assets and needs assessment. So it's better understanding our community. What are the assets in our community? Where are those assets at? Such as rec centers, libraries, um, churches, food pantries, grocery stores, et cetera, et cetera. And what are the needs? So, and the needs come from feedback. So that's year one. And then year two is developing an implementation plan to meet those needs.
So is this year one?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
so okay, so this program is completely new
Yep.
to
So,
Annapolis High School. Okay.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So
Okay.
the
You know,
community school strategy is new. I'm new. So we're
mhm.
figuring it out and working together to understand better the assets and needs of our community and our school.
Okay, okay. Now, Mr. Marino, I work in the community a lot, doing volunteer work. And when I ride around in these neighborhoods during the day, I see more kids hanging out in the neighborhoods than I think should be in should be in school. So I see where you have attendance and incentives. Can you give me some information about the attendance? Because there's a lot of kids that are hanging out during the day in these communities.
Yeah, I mean that is a great point. So um, we are really trying to address chronic absenteeism, and we have numerous teams and departments within Annapolis High School, and one of those is our attendance team. So looking at the data, you can see like on one of our, there's a map in which you can see where the hot points, where are the red points, where students are chronically absent. And if you're not in class, you can't learn. So right now, I'm trying to gather data and input on how can we improve our attendance? What are the barriers for students attending school, the timeliness, um, once they are at school, what is the barriers for students getting to class on time, etc. So yeah, there's numerous like ideas of things we could potentially try to do to help alleviate our attendance and raise our attendance percentage throughout the school. So that's a work in progress.
Well, I went to the old Bateside School when it was segregated. So I grew up here in Annapolis, and I've seen the gentrification effect of the Black community. Someone told me in the 1950s, Annapolis was over 50% Black. Now it's down to 17% Black. So I've seen the how parole, for instance, it used to be a pretty much predominantly Black community, but now, it's I think most of our communities have a high Hispanic rate, and so things have really, really changed. But my question is that sometimes we know these kids and we stop and talk to them during the day while you're not in school and this, that, and other. And a lot of these kids say that they want to be with their friends, and their friends are over in the Phoenix Center or Mary Moss. So, the Black population has dwindled enormously. And to hear Black students, especially boys, say that they want to be with their friends over in the Phoenix Center, I think that is so different because when we went to school, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but when we went to school, we loved school. But these kids don't seem to have an interest in school anymore. There's something missing, and for some reason, I think that Annapolis, being the capital of Maryland, we just not getting. We're missing something here. There's something that's missing. I know the population, like I said, we have gentrification. I've seen it. I mean, I used to live on Calvert Street where the Arundel Center is, but things have just changed over the years. But the people who are in charge in government and this the Maryland thing, what you call it, the what you just mentioned, the
blueprint.
Maryland the blueprint. Something is just missing. I don't understand why they can't connect the pieces here. And why would kids want to go to the Phoenix Center instead of staying in high school? At the high school. You understand what I'm saying, Mr.
Yes,
Marino?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you kind of like respond a little bit to that?
I sure can. We are now the state of Maryland named Annapolis High School a community school, and we are hoping to address that. We are hoping to make, well, continue to improve and make Annapolis High School a welcoming place for all of our students. You're correct. I mean, the demographics of Annapolis High School are over 50% Hispanic, and our African American and white populations are roughly around that 25%. But I think one of the strengths of our community and Annapolis High School is the diversity. And it's how can we celebrate that diversity, make Annapolis High School an extremely welcoming environment to where students want to be and want to go. So to be determined.
Okay, thank you. Well, let me know if
In progress.
all right. Well, I know, like I say, I do work. I mean, do a lot of volunteer stuff in the neighborhoods. So if you need, any type of input or something like that, or people that you may want to get in contact with, I'm willing to support you in any kind of way.
Thank you so much. That is terrific.
You're
And
welcome.
I'll connect with Miss Booth to get contact information for everybody.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Odessa. Does anybody else have questions? I have one little one if no one else has their hand up, and that is, you mentioned the full-time nurse in the school. I know last year the county was sort of floating the idea of putting health clinics in some of the schools so that both students and families don't have to try to figure out how to get to urgent care, if they have a health need, because a lot of our families don't have access to health care. Is there any talk about that tying in, like in not just having a full-time nurse, but actually having a clinic of some variety in? I know they had talked about doing it maybe in some of the middle schools, but I don't, unfortunately, I'm not off the top of my head remembering the specifics of what I had read. And I know they put a survey out to the county. So I didn't know if you had any information, any inside track on that.
I'm not too sure about that. Like I visited Tyler Heights, and I know this is their first year of having a telehealth program, a virtual telehealth. So like a student can go to the school nurse, and the school nurse can facilitate this machine that it's kind of like this with a doctor. So it's a real doctor on the other end, and with the machine, I guess it allows the doctor to see different things about the student and all of that stuff, and virtually look in their ears and try to assess what the issues might be or the symptoms. But other than Tyler Heights being the first school to implement this virtual telehealth, I'm not sure about the health. I can learn more though.
Yeah, there was a survey that went around and I never really heard anything more about it. So I would be curious to know if that was just sort of a floating an idea, but if there wasn't any money behind it, it doesn't last very long.
Right.
But I'd be curious to know what happened with that. All right. Does anyone else have any questions for Mr. Marino? Thank you so much for coming this evening. We have, over the years, those of us who have been on the commission for a while, have watched this program roll out to, I think Mills Parole was the first one in our cluster. It was Mills Parole and I think
Mills
Tyler
Parole
Heights.
and Tyler Heights.
Yeah, with the first two, and seeing what that brought for those communities was really it was really awesome. We're really grateful for the resources that have come. And then when Annapolis Middle became a community school a couple of years ago, same thing. We've seen a lot of increased opportunities for the families and those students. And so I am personally very excited to see what the next couple of years bring to Annapolis High School, because we certainly have a lot of need in our community. But you're right, we do have resources too, and connecting the two often ends up being sort of tough. I know, do you know off the top of your head, I believe that was the social worker position at Annapolis High. There was, I think that was vacant for a bit. Is somebody, do we have a social worker? We had one, I think. Did we get resources for any more? I think we got an extra guidance counselor instead, actually.
Yeah. To my knowledge, we've had Miss Mueller,
Yeah.
Miss Carrie Mueller, our school social worker. I don't remember how many years she's been there, but I don't
Okay.
believe there was a vacancy. Miss McNeil can talk more about that with her experience at Annapolis High.
Okay.
Miss
There was
McNeil, roll call. You still here?
Still here.
Hey.
Thank you for being patient. We appreciate it. Let me stop sharing my screen here. And we appreciate both of you, because there's, Annapolis High is this huge building, and most parents and most people like me are a parent. You hear about you hear about your kid's corner of the building, and that's about it. And so I know at back to school night, a couple of the parents were sitting there, and we were learning that there was a culinary program at Annapolis High that none of us knew about because our kids weren't in it, and they didn't feel, they either didn't know about it themselves or just didn't think it was something that they should tell us about. So it's always exciting to hear about the things that are going on in the building, and especially finding out ways in which we can help to support all the good stuff that goes on there. So I thank you both for coming this evening. Any last questions for Mr. Marina before we let Ms. McNeil take over? No? All right. All right.
Andy.
Again, thank you so much for coming this evening. I really appreciate it, Mr. Marino.
I'm not jumping off. I'm still here. You
Okay.
still put
All
me
right,
for a little
excellent,
while.
excellent. All right. Ms. McNeil, pass the baton to you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Laura, do you have my email? I sent the link.
Give me 1 second. I know I had, oh, there we go.
And while Laura's setting up, good evening, everyone. I'm going to be completely transparent. I moved 2 weeks ago, and so because my office is not completely up to par, I'm on my deck, and the sun has gone down, and I turned the light on and the candles on, and I'm just out here chilling. So this is good. I feel good about that. I'm excited to always hear my partner in the work, Jaron, speak about the community school aspect, because he and we share an office together. So he is that's my dog right there, right?
We got the A team here.
Actually, we call ourselves the M&Ms because Marino, McNeil,
love it.
We vibe off of each other. Whenever we can have space in the office together, we're spitballing constantly. I am so excited to have him on board and for us to be in sharing space together. And he gives me inspiration to just do the work that I'm doing. I know that in the work that we are doing together, it's fully supported through our Community Schools Initiative, and I'm just very excited. So I had to let him light up the stage, and I just come after and just cool it down with just information about the signature program. So for those who don't know me, this is my second time being with the commission, and it's always an honor to be before you all. The last time we were together, I believe it was 3 years ago, maybe 4. And I was an English teacher. I might have taught English and GCC, Global Community Citizenship. And I was the advisor to the Black Student Union. And I was advised by Miss Lily Ellis, Miss Odessa, my former co-advisor and current and perpetual mentor and encourager to the Black History Club, now the Black Student Union. She advised me to speak before the commission, and she really insisted that I be a part of the commission, but at the time I was working and teaching evening high, so I could never make the meetings. So as it stands right now, again, introducing myself, I'm Tanisha McNeil, and I am excited, enthusiastic, and overjoyed to serve as a signature coordinator for Annapolis High School. And as I said before, I was an English teacher at Annapolis High for several years. I taught global community citizenship, as well as African American studies, honors African American history, advanced placement African American studies, of which this is my second year teaching while I'm a program coordinator. And I taught United States history honors. And I think I see a parent of a student that I had on the call, if I'm correct, because I'm looking at the name, Miss Oakes. I think your son I had in my class, if I'm correct. Again, so this year is the first year that I'm working as a signature program coordinator. And for the most part, this program has been in existence in Annapolis High since 2012. And our focus is change engineering. However, every high school in Anne Arundel County Public Schools has a signature program focus. Each focus gears towards college and career readiness, and it takes this thematic approach to get students college and career ready and on the path towards whatever this program focus proceeds. Our program focus is change engineering, and it was developed by community stakeholders to give students a focus on 21st century life skills and just managing, adapting to change. Not only managing and adapting to change, but also impacting change in the communities. So what we seek to do is to take our classroom learning to the real world through these hands-on experiences, job shadowing, mentoring, college courses, clubs, and internships. We hope to provide them through this program, students access to having the confidence and skills to do whatever it is to take to be accessible and competitive with the real world and through college internships and such. I'm sorry, my glasses is not working in the night and I'm really trying to read the screen. I'm going to speak from the heart and we're just going to go with it. So there are two ways to perform in this change engineering program. The first way is through the change engineering cord process, which is a 2-level class that helps students become problem solvers. You would participate in change 1 and change 2, and you can earn your cord. In addition to taking these 2 courses, you could also complete your Changemaker project. You would also be involved in a school club, and we have over 20 change engineering clubs, one of the most clubs in Anne Arundel County that focuses on social justice, impacting change, and community development and identity. We hail that at Annapolis. I did the research when I interviewed for the position. And these program clubs, along with the Changemaker project and these courses, help to develop a well-rounded learner. That's phase 1. That's one aspect of participation. We call that a career exploratory path. The second wave is through Anne Arundel County Community College. And if you could go to the second slide, we can show you that in detail. Next slide, please. Okay. So if you see here, I spoke to the first part, which is the teal side. The teal side speaks to the 3 courses you can take. All freshmen take global community citizenship. They take that for a semester. But if you wanted to continue the cord pathway, you would take change engineering for 1 semester and change 2 for an entire year. Okay. Once you do that, along with participating in the clubs, doing the service learning, completing your Changemaker project, you would earn a signature graduation cord at graduation. But then the second part, and this is the part that I think is the most interesting and the most impactful, is the Anne Arundel County Community College Entrepreneurship Pathway. I am learning that students can take up to 18 college credits through the partnership of Anne Arundel County Community College, completely free. These students, if they have a 2.0 or greater, they are allowed to take these program courses that are located in the darker blue category. I know it's difficult for you to see, but they would begin their pathway their junior year. And by the end of their senior year, they would complete first semester 6 college credits. Let me be clear, 6 college credits your senior year and 6 college credits for the whole year. So you're taking 18 credits total. 3 credits semester 1, semester 2 of your junior year, and 6 credits semester 1 and semester 2 of your senior year. Numbers in me after 5 is not doing well, but stay with me. And so these are the courses that can be offered if the student chooses to go through an entrepreneurship pathway. Now, when I looked at this as a high school teacher, and when I was interviewing, I asked myself, what's the point in taking? Like, how would this benefit our students? And then I thought about it. I thought about 2 things. Number one, they're leaving with 18 credits if they complete this course, which will save them thousands of dollars going into their 4-year journey. Number 2, whatever they decide to do professionally, they can have a business mindset attached to it. Say, for example, I'm an educator. I went to school to become an educator. I got my bachelor's in education, my master's degree, and I'm working on my doctoral in educational leadership. If I had the business mindset, I could take what I've learned within 4 years to create a business of my own, a consultancy, a tutoring, a learning center, or a child development center, if I will. And so what this course pathway offers our students is the invitation to consider themselves as businessmen and women, and to consider themselves as captains of industry, and they can craft for themselves in high school the future they wish to perceive once they achieve their associates, their trades, or their 4-year college degree. So what I like about this is that this pathway focuses on real life, real world opportunities for our students. And what's interesting is that every student in Annapolis High School can take these courses. And this is what I've also learned about this program. Every signature program in Anne Arundel County Public Schools belongs to the students of that school. So for example, Change Engineering belongs to every student at Annapolis High School. These course offerings, if you are not in the magnet program, you can choose Signature as your program pathway. You can choose it. My job is to get students, parents, as well as community members aware in how to make that choice. What are your options in doing those choices and taking advantage of what's available? In addition to that, my role in partnering with various groups such as AVID, our CTE group, and our workforce development, as well as our community school coordinator, community school manager, is to try to find ways and means to ignite our students to see themselves in future careers, to see the sustainability of what comes after high school. We are noticing that there are many students at Annapolis High, and I know Miss Odessa can speak to this, that will graduate and it'll take them months, if not years, to find a next step option. The Signature program has been designed so that students can walk into their next step, not only knowing what they're going to do, but if they choose the right pathway, they will have something to bring along with them. They'll have the acumen of college experience. They'll have a connection with Anne Arundel County Public Schools. They will have networking capabilities through our various programs and services. They will have leadership acumen and develop a character that extends beyond their understanding and makes them competitive with other high school and college students. They will have all of those expertise and opportunities and connections that will take them to the next level, and they will have with confidence, if properly executed, they will know what they're doing when they walk across the stage. And so what I surmised through this experience, and I've only been in this program for a couple of weeks, I've only been the coordinator for 8 weeks to be exact, is that we have an opportunity to choose our students, to help our students choose their path, and to have with confidence a direction to go into that will lead them into greater success. In addition to this entrepreneurial pathway, and in addition to the court ceremony, we also have what's called the Early College Access Program. As a coordinator, I'm responsible for overseeing all students that are in this Early College Access Program, dual enrollment program, where if they earn a 3.0 or greater and they are college and career ready, they can attend school courses and take courses at Anne Arundel County Public School, Anne Arundel County Community College, one course a semester or as many as 2 courses a semester, and that they can do their junior and senior year. Anne Arundel County Community College has a profound partnership with AHCPS. It's a longstanding partnership where they provide programs and opportunities for students to do research, to participate on research teams, to do summer internships and have summer extensive studies, to explore their options, their college and career options through coursework, to be actual members of Anne Arundel County Community College and to have access to the resources that are available to them. And my job is to help facilitate that process, in addition to all of the other nuances that help to make learning fun, to help to make things exciting, to motivate students to participate and to be involved with what we have at our school, to increase climate and culture, to increase the outlook, the overall outlook of what our students see themselves becoming while at the school. And I have to admit that I'm excited about this. When you're a classroom teacher, you may see maybe 100 students a year. I have to come in contact with 2,066 students. And so I'm seeing a lot of students that are just wonderful, energetic, motivated, excited. Some of them are not too excited about being in school, but when I have conversations with them about their future, about what their options are, I'm observing for some the uncertainty of not knowing what can come out of this experience. But my role, along with the team of teachers and teacher leaders and student ambassadors, is to pour purpose back in through relationships, through opportunities and access, and to get students excited and motivated about what their options and what the outcomes could be for them. I have many big rocks, and I wrote them down because I knew I'd forget. One of the things that I would need to do is, because I don't do this work alone, is to build stakeholdership. And this is the part that if I could lend to the commission and your professional expertise and your networking, we definitely need to increase our ICST, which is our Integrated Community Stakeholders team. We're looking for professionals who could meet on a monthly basis to speak to ways to move the vision and the mission and the outcomes that support our students in the direction of success through this program. The stakeholdership that we build and the input that is provided through vested individuals that are in the professional sector helps to drive the direction that we're going. I'll give an example. In times past, one of our biggest successes was our mock interviews. And our ICS team members would come out in full force and stage a mock interview with our 11th grade AVID Change 2 students. And I would go through the process, or the program coordinator would go through the process of getting students ready for this interview process, where they're writing their resumes, they're learning the tactics of interviewing, they would come dressed up. And for 20-minute clips, students would be interviewed by real professionals and will receive feedback on their resume writing, as well as their interview delivery styles. These are real tangible ways where we can have our students to see what it means to be prepared and to prepare themselves for the next stage of life. They're not only interviewing for jobs, but some students will have to interview for scholarships, interview for positions within college, career, or military. And so these are opportunities for them to have practice in real time with a trusted professional who can give them really now helpful advice on how to improve or how to build the skills that they have. That's one of my biggest rocks, because that mock interview is happening in about a month, and I'm still trying to find more volunteers to help with that process. Another big rock that I have is increasing the access of this program to our students. Currently, we have 54 students participating in this program. Now, if you recall what I stated earlier, and I know I said a lot, roughly about 1,500 students can have access to this program if they choose. But we currently have 54 active students. So my goal is to increase access to students and to make it more equitable so that students such as our farms, our ELD, our students of color can have access to this program. Students that are not aware or certain of what their career path might be, their college path might be, can have access to this program. I'm looking to partner with AVID as well as the IB program to create pathways for our CP students, as well as students that are in AVID who would like to have a firmer foundation in their completer ideas. I'm also partnering with ELD to identify students from our English language learning community who have college career readiness certified, and they can actually try their hand at either participating in the pathway for entrepreneurship or taking courses at AACC. I'm also looking to increase the pathways to promote college and career readiness and just more volunteers just to help out with internships, ideas on networking, ideas for field trips, and just experiences to promote our students' success. It's a big undertaking, and I hope that with the right partnership and with the right plan, we can have a successful outcome. I'm expecting growth because of the enthusiasm. I'm speaking with a lot of students who are really, really excited about what the options are. They're learning the options, and I would love help in getting the information out to parents as well as community leaders so that we can build our base at Annapolis High. I'm going to switch devices because my power is down. I'm like at 7 minutes on my MacBook and I cannot find my charger because again, I've moved, but I'm going to switch back to my phone and I yield to questions at this time. Okay, do I call the question or?
Oh, I have a question.
Okay, sure.
I actually have a few questions.
All right.
So I'm so sorry I missed it. I know you just repeated it. There are 54 students currently involved, and you said what is your goal for it, or what is the capacity?
Okay. Good question. Personally, for now, my goal is I have a threefold focus for this year. Sustaining the numbers that we have, increasing the awareness of the program so that more students can either participate in the TEAL path, which is the court ceremony, or the actual attending the AACC path, which is entrepreneurial pathway. In terms of numbers, the increase that I would like to try my hand at, because we are severely low at this time, is to increase our ELD. Currently, we have 2 ELD students in the entire program. And those 2 ELD students are 2 Hispanic students. It's like one and the same. Not that that's one and the same, but literally we have 2 students, ELD, that are participating. And I believe the percentage is like even between our white students and our Black students. So I would like to increase participation there, and then increase student access and participation in the Change 1 and Change 2 part, and promote more students to enroll in and participate in the AACC courses, either through the pathway, through ECAP, or just to increase, again, that readiness piece. I'm going to try to get onto Zoom right now, so I'm switching over. Just hold, please, and thank you for your patience.
Thank you.
If you have another question, you can give it, but I'm going to switch over, and then I'll probably, more than likely, turn my camera off.
Okay.
That's but I'm
So my so my other question was for the classes at Anne Arundel Community College, the ones that are, I see it says the ones that are junior year are in school and the ones in senior year are on the AACC campus. I'm assuming that students and families have to arrange their own sort of transportation and timing of those in senior year.
okay.
Is that correct?
To answer that, I can say that we schedule if there is a need, if there's an express need, we can schedule transportation. As an example, I had to make a prediction as to how many students may need transportation within the spring semester. I made a projection. We are going to circle back to see if that projection is exact. What the arrangements that the district makes is that they try to do the transportation and they try to have students select courses that are within that window. So it's similar to like the CAT South or the Studio 39 experience, where students will go for a window of time and then be back before it's time for dismissal. That's my understanding of it, and that's for seniors. If that option does not work, then they try to encourage students to do virtual. They give like either an asynchronous or asynchronous virtual learning experience. And students also have the option if they would like to transport themselves there and back if that's needed. But we're looking to provide transportation for all of our students.
Okay. And then my last one, I was just wondering if you could tell me about some of the Changemaker projects that students do. I know you said you recently joined the program, so it's okay if you haven't seen the completed projects or anything, but I was just curious about that.
I can speak to the current project that Change 2 is looking to invest their their collective time in, and that is to try to find ways to support students graduating because they are concerned about the dropout rate and the rate of students that are leaving Annapolis High School. This is something that collectively they've decided because some of their friends have either decided to discontinue their education or to withdraw and go into evening high or to withdraw altogether. And they are coming up with a plan to try to promote retention and to promote self-sustainability and to encourage students to not drop out of high school. So that's the current project that my Change 2 students are working on. In terms of the Change 1 and their proposals, there were various proposals that I noticed at the end of the year when I received the position. One focused on anti-violence, another person focused on domestic violence and positive dating habits, another person focused on environmental awareness and activism. So those were just proposals that were launched in Change 1, but I'm noticing that collectively they are all working to promote, again, student sustainability and promoting the end of dropouts or reducing the dropout rate at Annapolis High School.
That is wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. This seems like a great program that Annapolis has.
Thank you. Thank you. It was an honor to even have a discussion with them. They invited me in as their guest speaker and they hit me with hard questions, asking for data involving our dropout rate, as well as what are some of the aims that our administration and our teacher leaders, what are some ways that we are trying to combat it? And they're looking for ways themselves to partner with us. I think that's amazing. And then when I got to hear a lot of their heartfelt reasons for it, I was touched. The level of compassion that we have at our school and the awareness of our students is profound. So even I believe it speaks to, just what we have in our community. We have really good kids, but also it lends itself to creating such a rich program, signature program, where we're promoting students to impact change, to be the change. And it starts with GCC, Global Community Citizenship, and it lends itself up in various ways throughout the school, but definitely through the pathways. It definitely lends itself up, and we're seeing it now in Change too.
Yeah. And hearing you talk about it, I can see how it sort of lines itself up nicely with this entrepreneurship pathway, because they're already brainstorming and thinking of how they can come up with new ways to solve a problem, and entrepreneurship lines up very nicely with that.
Absolutely. And we have the capacity to create problem solvers. Once we do that, we can create true world changers. And we would not have to worry about the status or state of our community, because we know that our students will be there as adults, actively engaged in the problem solving process. And that's what this program hopes to support and foster and encourage. And this is what I can see us doing to sustain the viability of our students. So thank you for that question.
Yeah, thank you.
India. Oh, sorry. Oh, Pam, I'm sorry. You know what? Pam had her hand up first. I saw her down there. You bounced around my screen. We're going to go Pam first and then India.
Okay. I was wondering, Ms. McNeil, is this slide that we're looking at, is this a copy of like a brochure or a folder that is available to the families?
It is, yes. This is a copy of a one-pager, if you will. It can be made available, if I may. It is in a draft of a copy. I'm still updating it, but this is my most recent version that I have.
Well, the reason I asked, and I had raised my hand before when you were still speaking, but Samantha asked the same question I was going to ask about transportation. And I think it might be helpful, you know, on that part about AACC to mention that, you know, transportation should not, you know, hold anyone back, or, you know, transportation can be arranged, just something on that order, so that if a parent, you know, if a child is interested and a parent looks at it and then thinks, oh, you know, I have no way to get them there, so I don't want to burst their bubble, so let's move on to something else.
Okay.
And I mean, just, you know, speaking as a parent, I'm just thinking, you know, if it had been one of my children and they had come to me, and, you know, just kind of looking at that, if you sort of know that there's something that can be done if you reach out.
You know what, Ms. Pam, I appreciate you for adding that, because perhaps some people's hesitancies in participating in AACC could be the idea of transportation. The other, for example, could be the idea of not, you know, for some students, just having an imposter syndrome of, I don't believe I belong. And there are so many services and resources that our students would have access to. For example, transportation is one that'll get them there. But while they are there, they have tutors. They have academic facilitators and counselors that'll help them every step of the way. They have disability services, so that they have program 504 IEPs. Those will also be carried out in service throughout their experience at AACC. And, you know, me personally, when I went to college, I went to college in New Jersey, of course, and I was in a specialized program for students who were given an opportunity, students that did not have the academic or economic acumen to profess viability. Those programs and services I learned early on, and it helped sustain me to have my degree and to even move through higher education. So definitely those are things that I will consider. And as I create documents, I want to create things that help parents and students understand what's available to them and how this can benefit their process. So thank you for adding that. I will take that in consideration.
And I think you're a wonderful asset to the school community.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to serve. Thank you.
Right, India, I think you're up next.
Miss McNeil. First, it's great to finally put a face to one of my son's favorite teachers. And I think your enthusiasm sparks student enthusiasm. My question is, we didn't have this kind of signature program back in my day, so I didn't get that cord at graduation when I did some internships like with the state attorney office. But can you share what kind of organizations and businesses currently partner with the school for this program?
Okay, well, first, I would love to say I love your son, and I am appealing to him daily to please see me so that we can get him on the path to becoming the next best cookie and pastry seller in Anne Arundel County. I think he is creative and dynamic. It has been an honor to work with him. I speak to him 3 to 4 times a day. I am constantly pouring into him and students with the same energy as he, who want to do such wonderful things with the creative talents that they have today. I am so impressed by Jack. I just can't speak his praises enough. And Mr. Marino knows Jack as well. Like,
Oh, Jack swings by the office multiple times a day.
we love the gift and talents that he has, his enthusiasm since day one. He's just this is what we do the work for. Students like him and students that are friends with him who are trying to find their way but are working really hard. To answer your question, the partnerships that we currently have, we work with Northrop Grumman, and we have 4 interns that are applying for their HIP internship program. And this is a career pathway through this internship program. And for those who do not know Northrop Grumman, it is an engineering firm to beat all engineering firms in my opinion. It has many different systems and technical systems that help to support students along this STEM pathway. And its goal is to get our high school students engaged in a way where they can potentially, if they continue the pathway, they can potentially have a job upon graduation of college. That's one program. We receive information from the Maryland State Assembly for the PAGE program, and we try to find students to get involved through that way. I'm looking to build partnerships with the Blacks of the Chesapeake, and that's a community nonprofit organization that focuses on protecting the water safety, but also protecting the maritime history of our Black Chesapeake fishermen. And I know that they're doing a next gen level seminar where they're trying to increase viability and have our students learn more about STEM technology and STEM careers, as well as preserving maritime history. Those are the 3 that I know. I know that there are plenty more. And as I'm getting access to that information, I'm also looking for more internships for our students, looking for externship opportunities. I'm having a conversation with a group of men who are developing this internship / mentoring / internship opportunity. And this is Zeta Gamma Foundation and the United States Naval Academy, the midshipmen at the United States Naval Academy. That's on the ground floor, and that's to be determined. So that's not really readily accessible yet. But those are the 3 that I know that we are currently working on to get students more involved in.
Thank you. And I would love to talk to you offline about other possible ideas.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And you have my email. Please feel free to send me a time when you're available. Thank you.
Thank you. Odessa.
Oh, okay, Miss McNeil, congratulations on your move and your new position. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay. I've never heard this program explained so well. Is this something more added to the signature program? I mean, like you said, grades 11 and 12 that they can go to the community college. Is that part of the two change engineering full year?
Yes, and this has been with us for quite some time, Miss Odessa, from as long as Miss Hogan, and even further than that, from the first signature coordinator. I forget his name, but you know who
Mr.
he.
Mr. Elston.
Yeah,
But
Dr.
but I never,
Yes.
but it was never explained so well like this. I don't know. You know, I'm glad to see that this information is being spread throughout the school. So the 2 full year program starts with a grade 11, right?
That's correct. And I'll give you an example. We currently have in-house students taking honors entrepreneurship with Miss Eisenhower. Miss Eisenhower, along with the partnership of Anne Arundel County Community College, they have an elevated curriculum. Like, we already teach this course in our school district, but they elevate this curriculum specifically for Anne Arundel County, Anne Arundel Community College students who will be entering into the pathway. This is the first pathway course that they take. We have like 18 students in the program now. And then once they complete their AccuPlacer test, once they complete their, I think there's a test that they have to take at the end of their course, they will move directly into their next course, which is provided by, it's going to be on campus, but a professor from AACC will come to Annapolis and teach 2 days a week. And then the
Okay,
the
so
alternate days, they're with me.
right. So is there any preparatory for 9th and 10th graders to enter into this 2 year program in the 11th grade, or they can just do what to prepare for this in the
So my
9th and 10th grades?
I look at the teal pathway, the change 1 and change 2, as a way for students to prepare themselves in terms of having the mindset of problem solving and learning leadership and learning taking initiative. But also in terms of preparedness, coming to school and just taking courses, because again, this level, you can have a 2.0 and still have access. Now, I get it, a 2.0 for some, you're saying, okay, you're throwing your kid into the wolves, but again, there are programs and services to support these youngsters, even if they have a 2.0. So I would encourage students to earn their credits and to take advantage of courses like Global Community Citizenship, to encourage students to be involved in clubs and programs and activities, and just to build relationships. Avid is a wonderful pathway for students to develop their acumen in advocating for themselves, in monitoring and self-management. But then there are also other programs and services that we can provide through Signature that could get students ready, like different types of keynote speakers, field trips, workshops, and activities to get them ready. And that's in the planning stage. That's on the forefront of my mind. It's just not something that I'm initiating this year. This year, I would just like to get data, to have the program run as it has always ran, but getting the information out to people so that they know. So my job right now for 9th and 10th grade is word of mouth, letting them know through relationships, building connections with our workforce development and our community connections coordinator, getting the word out through clubs and organizations, literally getting the word out through our global community citizenship, as well as Change 1 and Change 2.
Okay, so that means that once they enter 9th grade, they should kind of like, I'm just trying to see how many can the exposure to the 9th and 10th graders about the possibilities for this program in 11th and 12th grade. You understand what I'm saying?
I do. And how I see myself executing that plan is 3 ways. The way one is just like the creative and fun and innovative way through programs and activities, like, going in through pushing in through clubs, creating opportunities through fun activities and events that'll just get students there. Ice cream socials, pizza parties, the things like that, just very light and trite and fun. I also make connections twice a week during their lunch period, where I I'm in the lunchroom with students trying to get to know them. When I have a minute, if I can, I try to at least spend Tuesdays and Thursdays with the students, just getting to know them, letting them know about the program. That's the one way. The other way is through pushing in through the Global Community Citizenship Program. And remember, all freshmen take that program. So I would have to sit and
The
talk to.
IB kids too, because one time the IB kids didn't take it.
They do. They do. They do. And I
Okay.
do. I would have to push in through all of them to introduce what the signature program is in the program pathway. All pathways. So just the teal and the dark blue pathways and what their options are. And I think, again, the creative approach to doing that is getting them to envision themselves as a change maker, to see themselves and to start thinking about their future at grade 9, right? And I would follow that up with encouraging every 9th grade student to consider, if they can in their schedule, taking Change 1, taking Change 2, and then again, pushing in through the Change 1 and Change 2 programs, as well as either the English or the history classes where I can have conversation. I could also do it through almost every interdisciplinary program that exists, math and science especially, because there are opportunities for students to consider internships. So if we hit them early with this information and ways to create change and what Signature has to offer, they can start thinking, seeing themselves and thinking about ways to take advantage of these opportunities. Now that's the students, but I would also have to find creative ways to speak to families, because if you got the mama and the papas, you got the kid. And so what Mr.
Right.
Marino and we spitball all the time about what are some ways to get parents out to have a good time, but tell them about the program. And I thought about like doing something like line dancing or like paint and sips, but the sips are, legal because we're in school, or just fun activities where we're promoting family, wholesome fun, and just getting together on just a good evening, just to not only like get information, but to build community. Because that needs to be the change that we see as well. How we build relationships with one another, how we create a space that is safe and fun and nurturing, and we let everyone know that they're welcome and appreciated, and that all means all, and that we draw that circle as wide as possible, because we are fortunate to have such a diverse population of families with rich life experiences and wonderful opportunities for communities.
So is there a cutoff number for this program, or just as many people who want to apply?
I look at it like this. If we build it, they will come, so I'll give you an example. There is a high school. I'm sorry that I don't know the name of the high school in Anne Arundel County, where they have as many as 200 students participating in their signature program. Not only just in Anne Arundel County schools, they're not only just taking courses, but they're in the career pathway, if you will. They're exploring their options. We want to raise our number. We need to, at one time, and I'll say this, at one time we had as many as 200 in the program. When Ms. Hogan was involved, we had as many as 200. COVID did a number on us. We had to reorganize and shift our direction. And that's where we are right now. We are in a process of reorganizing and just redefining who we are. In addition to that, on a district level, we have joint partnerships with college and technical education and CCR, and we're coming together under one big umbrella to show relevance and to support each other in our programming. So again, it's all about bringing the knowledge to the forefront so that parents and students can make informed decisions, and that we have more students engaged in these opportunities.
Okay, that sounds great, Ms. McNeil. You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you, Ms. Odessa. And I got to tell you, I would not be in this position today had it not been for you.
Oh, come on now.
No, listen,
Right.
you embraced me.
Pam, you hear
Right?
that,
You
Pam?
embraced
Come on,
me.
Pam.
You embraced me, encouraged me, and you have been a constant encouragement in your passion. I whatever fire you lit and you left, I picked up and tried to preserve and protect and spread. And I hope that whatever work I do is to your liking and it fulfills the
Oh, I'm
vision
sure you,
and the hope
yeah,
that
you're
you
doing a
have.
wonderful job.
Not only you, but all of the
Mhm.
parents and community members of Annapolis, because I have profound respect for this community and for their students.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
This meeting was worth it just for that moment.
Well, we have such a love. I think all of us on this panel and this committee, we have such a love for our children and our students in this area. We just got a lot of work to do. And Miss McNeil and Mr. What's his name again? I'm sorry. Yeah, I thank you all for your service and what you're doing to help our children. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Fish, you have your hand up.
Ms. McNeil, this is really exciting. And I love the way you shared it. I spent several years working for a nonprofit that built white labeled change engineering programs for the Red Cross and Lady Gaga's foundation and Ashoka and other programs. And so fully agree that these are transformative kinds of experiences, not just for young people's 21st century skills, but for their self-confidence. And I think that the way that this is designed and articulated is one of the best. And I've seen a lot of iterations of these in schools, some well-intentioned but not well implemented. And this is one of the coolest iterations of it I've seen in a public school. So my question is about the mentorship, because I'm trying to find where it is in the text, but I'm seeing that there are opportunities for not just guest speakers and field experience hosts, but folks who can work one-to-one with students developing these projects. I know a lot of people that I think would be really excited to help meet with kids and think through helping them develop these skills. What's the pathway if somebody wants to be a mentor to someone going through the signature program?
Wow.
And helping them with a project.
Well, first of all, Fish, thank you very much for your compliment. And I will have to speak to the bones that existed before I arrived. I am just trying to breathe life in them, right?
Yeah.
So this was a very well-structured program, and I give props to every coordinator that came before me. And I would like to continue in that spirit and bring whatever energy I have to add to it. Second, the idea of mentoring and signature mentorship, I really could use a person like you on my ICST, primarily because we need to provide just individuals that could speak to nurturing and finding individuals that can mentor. How would that work? I would say, first and foremost, every volunteer would need to be vetted through the Be Present initiative and go through the training at AACPS. That's without question.
Yep.
And then secondly, once your training and your certifications are clear, then we can set you up with students in a public forum through like cupcakes with professionals or donuts with, like some type of public forum where we're gathering on a social standpoint. But I would also need to structure, and that's the piece, structure more opportunities for mentors and mentees to gather, if you will. That particular piece is in its infant stage. Like, for example, the midshipman mentoring program, I could speak to that because we're in the process of building that. Like, I am working with this organization and their volunteers through the United States Naval Academy to structure programs that will be in place, launched for 2026. In terms of individual mentoring, I'm still in the developing stage of how I want my career mentors to work with students, if that makes sense. But
Yeah,
I could
totally.
definitely, if you have resource and time, we could definitely talk offline on ways to structure that process.
I used to live and breathe this stuff for years and I miss it. And I had no idea this is going to come across my plate tonight, but so I've got your email from the AACPS website. And I will shoot you a note. I think there are a lot of folks who would be really excited to sort of help students augment their brain power in a setting like this. Because we had a lot of entrepreneurs and creatives in Annapolis who are already thinking this way and who want to share what they know.
And I think that would be a great way to support our students going through the Pathway program, and as well as just encouraging students for reasons of, hey, this is what we can get, the benefit that we have. You can have someone that will encourage you through every step of this process to get you across the finish line and to keep you tied in and into your goals. So that's a great idea. I like
love
that.
it. I'm gonna send you an email. But yeah, I think that this is something where there's if there's an easy pathway that can be built, there are a lot of folks in the community who would be really excited, and I'll help you find them. Okay, cool.
But yeah, but our first step and our first and foremost step is, and I can also speak to, we have a dean of students at our school, Christy Watkins Day. She's over the mentoring programs in our school. She and I have a partnership where we're working symbiotically, if you will. Like, I'm focusing on the career and college aspect. She's focusing on social emotional developmental aspect. But this is truly her responsibility. I want to keep her in the loop. So again, as we talk, keep in mind that I may have us all sit down together to unpack and flesh this out. But the most important thing is making sure that everyone is processed through the Be Present initiative. That's the big goal right there. That's the big rock.
Copy that.
Thank you.
Awesome. Does anybody else have questions? I have a couple. Go ahead.
Sorry, just what Fish asked made me think of another question. Sort of along the same lines, you mentioned needing volunteers for the mock interviews. How would people who are interested in that get involved? Would they reach out to you? Is there somewhere else they should go?
If they can reach out to me and provide me their first and last name and full birth date, I can run their information through our registrar. Will have access and clear them. I could also, if they could tell me their career, let's do this. I would love to speak to you offline to give you the list of criteria in writing. And that way, if you can relay that, and we can follow up with what their career interests are, their window of time and availability, because the career fair, the mock interviews will be held November 19th, 20th, and 21st.
Okay.
So if they can come within any of those days, and it's going to be an entire day initiative, anytime throughout the day, that would be helpful to us and our students.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Along the same comment on thinking about mentorship opportunities, are you plugged in with the city of Annapolis? Because I know the city has a whole bunch of mentorship programs and things like that. Are you funneling students, from your program and putting them in contact with them? Because I've heard a couple of my daughter's friends did internships with the city this summer, and I've heard great things about those programs.
Interestingly enough, I think my extent of communication has been through No Harm VIP. That's about as far as I've gone. However, I've spoken to William Rowell, I think in passing on Juneteenth, but I have not circled back to let him know my aim, my intent, and to, get inroads in that way. I am in search of names and contacts, and I'm open to doing the work of networking. So whatever information you have, I greatly appreciate. I've just been doing a lot of grassroots communicating through my interpersonal connections that I've made in the past 5 years that I've been at Annapolis, but I am open to other communications as well if you have access.
Yeah, well, Will is definitely the right guy to connect to, because he's really so if you guys need help with that, let us know how we can support you, because it would be great to get the kids at A-High plugged in, or the kids in this program specifically plugged into that. Which also actually brings me to another question. And what kinds of partnerships have you formed with groups like our local nonprofits, like Charting Careers or Seeds for Success? Because I feel like that would be a great way to get the program information out there, and also make partnerships with folks who have the ability to steer students into the programs.
I've been fortunate enough to have the head of Charting Careers serve on my ICST, as well as the head of Seeds for Success. And we had our first and only meeting in September. But we also try to communicate at least once or twice a month to support initiatives. As an example, we've had Charting Careers, Seeds for Success, No Harm VIP. That's through the city of Annapolis. They've held 3 college tours, of which I've helped to support to involve students in to keep the line of communications open and supporting. So we are working to strengthen our communication. I had recently had a meeting with a representative from No Harm VIP, but I also keep in contact with Teresa from Charting Careers as often as we can. And if there are students that, again, need support and assistance to do the early college access program or enter into the signature pathway, Teresa reaches out to me, I reach out to her. We try to keep lines of communication open.
All right. And I have another sort of strange little niche question. And that is, it was interesting to hear about the Changemaker project, but as the parent of a sophomore, we're currently hearing a lot about the personal project. And I'm wondering if there's opportunity there for students for overlap in the two, or do the two projects, kind of, complement one another, or do you have any feedback on that?
So excellent question. Here's how I would do it, right? Personal projects begin in GCC. Like the planning stages of your personal project begin with every 9th grade student in GCC. And then the enacting the personal project is your sophomore year, throughout your sophomore year. Change 2 could either be taken your entire sophomore year or could also be taken your entire junior year. So if it's taken your entire junior year, your personal project should have already been completed. I would imagine that it could be a continuation or a ramp up of that. But if in your sophomore year, if you're in Change 2 and you're doing your personal project, I would imagine that they too could work together. I couldn't see why it would not. I would have to definitely look at the curriculum more closely to see if that is an intellectual property issue or a cheating issue, but I doubt very seriously. And in the case with our Changemaker 2 class, they're working on a group project, which is different from individually everyone doing a proposal and a plan themselves. So it might divert from their initial 10th, if they're in a 10th grade and they're in Change 2 and the group decides to do a project, it might be an additional project on top of their personal project. I will be honest, I can find more information, but I don't see a problem with it. I'm that person to see, let's try all options, let's try all avenues. But I can find out from Dr. Gold, who is over personal projects, and she is the NYP coordinator, to get more information on that and see how that works.
It feels like from what you were saying that it's sort of there's a certain amount of overlap because we are trying to teach kids basically to go out and look for ways in which they can improve their communities. And so since both of those projects sort of seem to have that at their heart, it would be great to find a way, because that's another way that you can actually pull students into this program is, again, every sophomore has to do a personal project. So we were priming the pump, so to speak, and getting them thinking that way. So for the kids that are like, hey, I'm really excited about this. I have a great idea. I'm looking forward to that. Could be a good way to sort of pull them in.
That's the piece. And tapping into the passions of our youth. And having them to think about what impact, what change they could make either within themselves, their community, their neighborhood, from the global standpoint, wherever they want to start. But it starts within what burns within the heart. And how do we impact change, starting with the heart to wherever we are. So whatever the process is, we definitely want to promote and encourage. And I want to be in partnership with the 10th grade project, because I think the personal project is awesome. Can I just speak to how awesome AACPS is in that idea of giving students the opportunity to create something that they feel within their spirit needs to develop, improve either themselves or someone else. That's profound. That raises the bar. That sets our students apart. So we will definitely deepen and continue that conversation. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for all of this information. This is phenomenal. I am excited to hear about a lot of this because some of this stuff is stuff that, you know, as a parent in the school, I don't always hear about all the things going on. So this is awesome. And I thank both you and
I have one more slide too. I'm sorry. If we can go to the next
I'm
slide.
so sorry. Nope.
That's okay. Because this is additional information, and I'm sorry for cutting
Oh,
you off.
great.
Got to
No, no.
mention, these are our upcoming events, as well as, and I cannot see it because I'm on my phone, information that students can access. Right now, the College and Career Fair, we're looking to take at least 60 students to this event on the 28th. The Baltimore City College and Career Fair is going to be at Baltimore Convention Center. I think I may have 30 slots available, but I would need students to get their permission slips back to me as soon as possible. So far, we have about 40 students, 34 students that signed up. We also have a guest speaker, Apostle Craig Coates, who is going to talk with our Change One group. And the reason why we chose Apostle Craig Coates is because currently at Annapolis High School, through the efforts of the PTSA, Black Student Union, as well as Pathways for Peace, we have been working to promote our anti-violence, our peace, Kwame Funk Memorial Peace Garden, in honor of students who've lost their lives to gun violence. We're trying to promote peaceful intentions at Annapolis High. We've had students to be affected by this, and mostly every student that has been shot in the last 3 years have been former students of mine, and that breaks my heart that I've had to bury 3 of them, and had one that was severely injured. So this was something that was on my heart, and the Black Student Union have taken an initiative around. But Apostle Craig Coates, initially, the garden that was initially there, Apostle Craig Coates and his community, his church and his community, they rallied around Annapolis High in 2009 to support the loss of Kwame Funk Johnson. And so he's here to speak to our students and to interested change makers on what he initiated and how impactful it is to make sweeping change. Of course, like I said, our mock interviews are coming up, and we could welcome guest visitors and volunteers on all of these events and future events as they come. So thank you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you sharing this information so that we can disseminate it out to the families, anyone who's watching this evening. And I can make these slides available to anyone who is watching us on YouTube. Feel free to send us an email at AnnapolisEducationCommission@gmail.com, and we can send out copies of the slides and share them with folks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you both. This was a ton of information. I can't even tell you. I mean, I took so many notes, and I appreciate this. And I look forward to seeing how we can support the good work that you guys are doing as we go forward. Thank you for all that you're bringing to our community.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming. I know this ended up being a little bit long, a little bit more time out of your schedule than I'm sure you budgeted for. So I thank you both.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much. And we appreciate all the work that you've done and for having us here. It gives us ideas. I know Jaron is probably writing a whole bunch of notes that he's going to share with me tomorrow in the office. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm excited to see some familiar faces that I've had partnerships with in other places. And it's good to see everyone today. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, this was exciting, and I appreciate that. We are almost at 8 o'clock, and I know we had a couple other things on our agenda, so I just want to really quickly shift over to our unfinished business. We had talked about redistricting. I'm gonna actually stop sharing the screen here for a second. We had talked about redistricting last time. I don't know if anyone else had a chance to watch, but the school board had a meeting on the 15th or 16th of last week where they got updated enrollment numbers for the county, and they sort of shifted some of the proposals around a little bit. The one of the things that came out was that Annapolis High enrollment had dropped down a little bit, so there isn't quite as great of a push to redistrict students out of the Annapolis cluster, which is good. So that the superintendent came up with the other piece of that is that Severn Run High School came in much higher with a much higher utilization number than was anticipated. So there also isn't necessarily room there to move the Apex program out of Annapolis High and move it to Severn Run. So the superintendent came out with Plan SR3, which will keep both Mills Parole and Apex students at Annapolis High. And then the Board of Education tacked on the same modifications to that proposal as they did to the previous two proposals, which includes moving, among other things, moving students from Georgetown East, moving students from the Georgetown East catchment area into Hillsmere, moving Eastport students into Georgetown East. They also, in passing, discussed the utilization at Georgetown East, which was actually probably the piece of this whole meeting that I found most concerning. They were talking that Georgetown East was under 50% utilization. That building got a big addition during the Tyler Heights rebuild, and they moved all of the pre-K students from Tyler Heights to Georgetown East in this sort of new kindergarten wing. But after Tyler Heights was done, they moved all those students back to Tyler Heights. And then at the same time, or shortly thereafter, they also moved the ECI program that was located at Georgetown East to Rolling Knolls. So Georgetown East currently has a lot of empty space. And we did talk a little bit about it. And I think we should probably explore the idea of another, once again, encouraging the school system to both promote the good things that are going on at Georgetown East, because I feel like it's this school that nobody ever hears about, and there's all kinds of great things happening there. But also encourage them to once again consider the possibility of putting some sort of a magnet program there, or something that to draw students in. Both Eastport Elementary and Germantown Elementary School are IB programs. When Monarch opened, it was both IB and arts integration. Tyler Heights, of course, is now the Spanish language as its Spanish language immersion program. So I feel like there needs to be something at Georgetown East that also draws parents into it. So that is something else that we could possibly discuss. And then going forwards with redistricting, there will be a public briefing on Thursday of this week, tomorrow night, where they will basically take the new round of suggestions, and then they will come up with the exact numbers. So like sort of these ideas were thrown out, and then the folks that crunch the numbers are going to go back and re-crunch all the numbers and come up with the same sorts of statistics that we've seen before, which is what the school utilization rate would be if they go with Plan 1 or 2. They actually now have 6 different proposals, 3 from the superintendents, 1, 2, and 3, and now the 3 board recommendations. So what the enrollments would be, what the utilization will be, and calculate things like how many students are being disrupted, how much transportation cost goes up or down, like how many miles traveled goes up or down. So we'll get that Thursday. And then there will be a public hearing on Monday, October 27th at the Parham Building on Riva Road, and then another one on November 3rd. And both of those are opportunities for members of the community to go and speak about how we feel about the different different plans. So that's a lot. Does anyone else have any questions, comments, input, things about the redistricting process that, Mr. Marino?
Yeah, if you could remind me, like, whenever they move forward with this, does it take effect next year? I'm trying to remember.
The
2 years.
initial plans would move everybody next year. It would be the fall of 26, yes. The proposal to move Apex would have been delayed by a year, so that would have gone into effect fall of 27 because it would take time. The wing that Apex occupies at Annapolis High right now was basically custom designed to hold that program. So it has additional, dance studio space. There's studios, there are kilns for the pottery classes and the visual arts. There are the theater design. Oh, hang on one second. My computer battery is dying. The theater design and production program within Apex has an actual, they have a shop classroom really, because they build sets and do lighting, and they have a room where they have sewing machines and they do costuming, all for theater type productions. So all of that would have to be picked up and moved to wherever. If they moved the Apex program, that would all have to be picked up and moved to whatever school they plan on moving it to. So Severn Run was the original site that was identified by the school system as the target, but that would take time to outfit. So that's why that piece would have been delayed by an extra year. Ms. Ellis. Odessa, do you have your hand up?
Oh, yeah, okay. Laura, I'm having a hard time understanding what's going on. So the Apex program, initially, we thought that they were going to move all of the Apex program to Severn Run.
No, they were going to move the portion. Apex is divided into 3 chunks. They basically split it in thirds. 1/3 of the program is at Annapolis High. That is our dance, visual arts, theater, creative writing, theater design and production, and one more that I'm blanking on right now. The second piece of Apex is all of the music primes, so the vocal music, instrumental, band and orchestra instruments. All of that section is at Broadneck High School. The 2 halves of the program come together at Studio 39 in Annapolis, which is formerly it was originally the Germantown Elementary School, then it became the Phoenix Academy, and now it is Studio 39, as both of those were moved into different buildings. So they use all 3 sites. So they would move the site that as the Annapolis site to Severn Run was the proposal.
So the Annapolis site, but not the Broadneck site.
No, and not Studio 39. So part of the issue was that they would send the students to Severn Run during the day, but students in the Apex program attend classes, extended day classes at Studio 39 after school. So they were going to move them up to Severn Run, but then put them on a bus and send them back down to Studio 39 at the end of the day. Or in the case of our juniors and seniors, they go to Studio 39 during the day. I know Business of the Arts is located at Studio 39. There are a couple of other things that are located, other classes that are located at Studio 39 during the day. So they would get moved during the school day and have basically their instructional time reduced to allow for the increased traffic, increased travel time to go from the Apex or from the Severn Run site down to Studio 39.
Well, some of those kids at Annapolis High, they come from other areas, right, for their Apex program?
Yes, it's a magnet program, and it is the only the Apex program. We have 2 at the middle school level. So at middle school, there is the site at Bates for Apex, and then there's also one up at Brooklyn Park. At the high school level, there's only 1 program, and it's just sort of split in half. So we have the music at Broadneck, and then we have the other parts at Annapolis High. Approximately, there are, what do they figure? There's I saw the numbers. I think 26% of the students in the Apex program at Annapolis High are Annapolis High students. That is their zoned home school. So, so those kids, like India Sun and my daughter, are kids who would go to Annapolis High if they weren't in Apex, but are still at Annapolis High in the Apex program. And there was a slide that was presented at one point during one of the earlier information sessions where they gave the breakdown. Because it is the home school for so many Annapolis students, we have the highest participation at 26%. Presumably, if they were to move the Apex program to another school, those numbers would change. I know a lot of the Annapolis High students would choose to remain at Annapolis High, and presumably more kids at Severn Run would be interested in enrolling in or applying for the Magna program if it's located in their home school.
Oh gosh. Okay. It's
So we do have the other issue is we're not exactly sure when they're supposed to be making. Originally, they said they wanted to make their decision in November for the school for the Board of Education on all of these various redistricting plans. But the other factor that's going on here is they also had originally planned on getting the educational facilities master plan was supposed to be returned to them in September, and that is the study that analyzes the utilization and the physical shape basically of all of the facilities. So all of the buildings, it puts in sort of a report card about what condition they're in and sort of ranks them in order of needing renovation or replacement. That was supposed to come in September, and all the documentation that the school system put out about redistricting said that that would be happening concurrently with the redistricting process, and that information would be used to inform the redistricting process. However, now they are saying they won't even get the results of the educational facilities master plan until December, which is actually after they are hoping to make the decision for redistricting.
But did the superintendent make a comment about Georgetown East and the redistricting about parents not wanting to put their kids in that school or something?
That was I don't know that Dr. Bedell has weighed in on that, but Dr. Tobin, that was Dr. Tobin's proposal. She added that recommendation to the original proposal put forth by the superintendent. The board's recommendation would change. The superintendent did not recommend moving any of the boundaries for Georgetown East or Eastport or Hillsmere, but Dr. Tobin's proposal would move kids would move Bay Ridge, the whole Bay Ridge area, out of the Georgetown East catchment area and move them into Hillsmere, and then to, I guess, make up for the empty seats that are now in Georgetown East, move students from Eastport into Georgetown East.
Okay, Laura.
So we did put out a motion. We did put out a motion last month that basically said that we oppose that. So I don't know if we want to put out another motion now saying that we would prefer to go with the superintendent's plan, which does not include the motions. And the other motion was that was made by Don Polium was to move all the students in the Gingerville area, down off Riva, that currently matriculate south into Edgewater, into Edgewater and then South River. Like Edgewater Elementary, Central, and then Central Middle, and then South River. She wanted to move that group of students into the Annapolis High School catchment area, presumably after they had moved out Apex and or Mills Parole to make room for them, which also does not necessarily make a lot of sense to me, at least, because those families don't want to go, but also we don't really have space for them at Annapolis High. Even though our enrollment is down, we don't have enough room to bring in those students, and all of those numbers were on the redistricting website.
Now, how much is the enrollment down? What percent?
At Annapolis High was down. Let me bring up the. Let me see if I can bring up.
And so why is the enrollment down? That's unusual. Shouldn't even be
Enrollment is
going
down
up.
everywhere. Enrollment is down. Montgomery County was down over 2,000 students across Montgomery County, for a couple of reasons. The articles that I have read, and I can forward them to the group. But one of the comments on there was that the birth rate declined. I mean, we had sort of
Okay.
generational baby
Yeah.
boomers. And so the birth rate is sort of declining. So therefore enrollments,
Right.
as our senior class is graduating, there isn't as many kids in the incoming freshman class or incoming kindergarten class to take up those slots. So overall, we're slowly shrinking. So that
Well,
was one.
Oh, okay. I was in that redistricting thing for Edgewater 10 years ago or something.
Yep.
They are not going to bring their kids up here. We might as well forget
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, that was sort of overwhelming the sense that most of us got. I know they've actually been very good, very organized about their resistance.
Yeah. They're not going to, and I don't blame them, to be honest with you.
So, all right. So we were looking. Okay, I've just totally lost my train of thought.
No,
What am
that's okay. I mean, it's not that important. What you said makes sense. The birth rate is down.
Yeah.
I think that's happening all over.
They did not have in this. I'm looking here and I see October 15th. They gave the numbers. Utilization. Let me see. Let me share. This is the document that's available on the website. Let me share my screen so that you guys can see this. And then this is available on the redistricting, the phase 2 boundary, not the boundary score, the redistricting process. And so then they have this to see student movements and impacts of SR3, click here. So this is the document, no, I've lost it again, that they presented about what the utilization was using the 24-25 student enrollment. I don't think it specifically had the 25-26, which is what I was looking for in here to see if they actually gave the numbers. I know they mentioned it. If you watch the video on YouTube, that was the school board meeting from the October 15th. They did go through what all of those are just the movement charts, what the numbers were. And they did say that the final, it's not in this one, unfortunately. The final numbers won't go into the schools. September 30th is the date that they use to kind of cut off to get the initial numbers for enrollment for this year, but they're not official at that point. They send those numbers apparently to MSDE, and then MSDE, the state, will come back and give us sort of like, they'll pass judgment on whether those numbers are accurate or whatever. And then those are the numbers that they will use going forwards for to determine, funding and enrollment. So we haven't gotten official numbers yet for this year, but they got enough preliminary numbers as of the 30th of September to make the decision that moving Apex to Severn Run was not feasible. But also I thought it was interesting that there are seats available. I forget what the number was that they gave us for Annapolis High, but it was like we were under 2,000 students. It was like 19 something was the number that they gave, which I thought was interesting because that was lower than the numbers that we've been hearing. So anyway, you still have your hand up. Do you have other questions, Odessa?
Oh no, I'm done.
All right. Anyone else have any? It is after 8, and I want to be respectful of your time. Does anyone else have any questions about redistricting, or wants to weigh in? I think from our perspective, it would be beneficial for us to weigh in as individuals on SR3 versus BR3 because it is less disruptive to Annapolis students, and it preserves the communities within Eastport and Georgetown East without without disturbing, without disturbing those areas. And I know the Eastport PTA has a group of parents that is organizing that is very much in opposition to being rezoned out of Eastport. I think most of their PTA actually lives in the area that is being rezoned. So that is part of their concern. But
I just had a quick question.
Sure,
Oh,
go ahead.
sorry. Go ahead, Odessa.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I was just saying, I was talking to a parent yesterday that live in Eastport Terrace. They have no clue about this redistricting that's going on. So some kind of way we need to get these parents involved.
Well,
Because,
and
you know,
also they
Mhm,
are
go
not
ahead. I'm sorry.
using any of the numbers for because the rebuild of Eastport Terrace and Harbor House has not moved to whatever official point in the city planning. The school, we've asked Dr. Tobin about it repeatedly and been told that the school system can't really consider any numbers from there. So if they do go ahead, if they at this point, if they, the redistricting numbers, redistricting plan goes into effect, there is still a possibility that within, as soon as they do because they're supposed to, I think, almost double or triple the number of units in Eastport Terrace and Harbor House. So we will see quite an influx of students into Eastport Elementary. So at some point they may have to redistrict Eastport Elementary anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, Samantha.
For the public briefing, that you mentioned, is
Yes.
that in person or virtual? I
The
may have
public
missed that.
briefing, well, all of the meetings will take place in the Parham building on Riva Road. The public briefing, which is this Thursday, will also be broadcast on the school system's YouTube channel. So I plan on tuning in for that. That will be at 5 o'clock on their YouTube channel. The two public hearings on the October 27th and November 3rd will be where the public has an opportunity to speak directly to the school board on these plans. Those you can testify either in public, either in person or virtually. And the signups, all the information, the signups open up about a week in advance, and they have the exact date and time. And going by past experience, the signups will open at Monday at 3 p.m. and probably by Monday at 3:03, all the slots will be taken, judging by how things have gone down in the past. So if you are interested in speaking, you should definitely, set an alarm on your phone for that. There was a press release that the school system sent out, I think it was yesterday, about the rescheduling of the hearing dates and times and when signups would open for those. But both of those will be, you can testify either in person or online, but it will also be broadcast if you just wanted to watch, it will also be broadcast as are all school board members, or all school board meetings are broadcast on the AACPS YouTube channel.
Okay, thank you.
Enid, you joined us.
Yes. Laura, can you tell everybody exactly where that sign up? Because I don't know where that sign up is to speak. Where
Yes.
exactly can you find it?
Good question. Let me see. November, the board is scheduled to adopt the plans. Really good question because it is not on. Give me a second here. Oh, I did find. All right, wait a second. Sorry, I got distracted here. On that redistricting page, the redistricting process phase 2, they do have the slides with the numbers. If you scroll down, they have presentation from the informational slides presented at the October 15th Board of Education meeting. And those slides do have the updated enrollment numbers, so I can bring that up. But also the redistricting sign up. Let me see, that was on the there was a press release that came out, and then that was okay, so that was yesterday.
Now,
I'm sorry, India, could you repeat that?
under the board page, and it's open now.
Okay. Under the board page. Let me bring that up. So on the CPS org under,
Would it be board meeting or?
yeah, basically, I guess it's just they're doing the signups like a regular board meeting. So it's on the About Us tab. Oh, they redid the website and now I can't find anything. Sorry, where is this? Some programs. Okay, under the More tab on the website, let me share this screen. So this is the AACPS home screen. Under the More tab, there is, oops, if you click on it slowly, there is Board of Education page down here, and then they have public comment at board meetings. And if you click on that, they have registered to testify at the 27th meeting or provide written comment. So if you don't want to testify in person, the comment link opened up today at 3 o'clock. All right, and then you can provide written comment for the board's 27th meeting if you want. And then this same page, they will announce when they open up the press release from, which is what I was looking for here earlier. Let me see if I can find that. The press release that they sent out earlier said that the next meeting, which is November 3rd, would open up. Okay. So that is under the press releases. So the public briefing for it's till 23rd. The public hearing opened up for the 27th, opened today. For the November 3rd meeting, it will be made available at 3 p.m. on Wednesday, the 29th. So next Wednesday at 3 o'clock, they will open up the opportunity to testify at the November 3rd meeting.
Thank you, Laura.
Sure. Sorry about that. Deep here in all of my all of my emails. So it is after 8 o'clock. I'm going to stop. But if there are questions or concerns about redistricting, it is something that we need to keep talking about because obviously we don't want to have a lot of upheaval for our Annapolis students. One of the biggest concerns was moving. We have talked about this. I know we passed motions at our May meeting, but for Samantha, since you are new here, and anyone else who missed that meeting, the first proposals that they came out with when they hired the firm, all three proposals that were initially presented to the public involved moving the Mills Parole students out of the Annapolis High School catchment area. And Mills Parole, as you heard Mr. Marino say, was one of our first community schools. Those students matriculate to Annapolis Middle, which is a community school, and then those students matriculate again to Annapolis High School, which is now a community school. South River is not a community school. So that was one of the immediate concerns that we had, is that you have kids that have access to all these wraparound services, and are really plugged, we're working really hard to plug them into the community resources available. Those resources may not be the same or may not be available at South River. So moving Mills Parole students down there really was a source of a lot of concern for most of us when we saw the initial plans coming out. So I encourage everyone to make your thoughts on this known to the Board of Education about their redistricting proposals. So our meeting for next month, we are meeting on, I want to say November 12th. I believe we moved our November and December meetings because of the Thanksgiving holiday and then the Christmas holiday. So yes, November 12th will be our meeting next month. So that's in just a few weeks, a little bit sooner than usual. But we are trying to line up some speakers from Recreation and Parks to tackle before and after care, which is has been a big concern for our elementary school parents. Now we're going to go on from high school. We're going to go to the other side. We're going to work on the issues that are affecting our elementary schools next month. So that's who we're lining up to have speak at our November 12th meeting. And Dr. Tobin sent her regrets. She is at a different event this evening and could not be here, but she did say that if we had specific questions about redistricting or anything else really, that we can you can email her directly, or if you want to send them to the commission email, we can gather them up and send them in a group out to her. That's a lot. Sorry. You guys have been really patient. It is after 8 o'clock. Anybody else? We have that's new business was our meeting for next month. I don't think we have any other unfinished business on our redistricting was the only thing under unfinished business. So do we have any other new business that anybody wants to bring up? Anyone? Bueller? No. All right. Thank you to everyone for sticking it out with us this long. This meeting was a little bit longer, but it was chock full of information. So again, I want to thank our speakers for coming and sharing all of that with us. It's going to take me a couple of days, I think, to first of all, to make sense of my nose, but also to just digest all of that. So I thank you so much for your time and patience in answering our questions and presenting all of that information. And just again, thank you for all that you do on behalf of the students at Annapolis High. It's a great place to begin with, and you're making all of your hard work will only make it better. And so as a parent and a community member, thank you. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I make a motion that the meeting be adjourned.
Thank you, Enid. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Thank you, Samantha. All right. Thank you all for your time, energy, and everything that you do on behalf of our school system, our local public schools. We thank you.